COVID.
Yeah.
Wear your mask, take your pill. Now a whole generation's mentally ill. Man, fuck Fauci.
Yeah, fuck.
COVID's near, it's coming to town. We gotta act quick, shut our borders down. Joe Biden does, the media embraces. Big Doc does it, and you call him racist.
Brandon. All right, another show.
Let's go, Brandon.
Alexa, stop, honey. Another show. We've been off a little bit. Unfortunately, Wayne had a little bout of the Fauciism,
The vid.
and bouncing back. He's starting to feel better, and so we haven't been able to broadcast with you guys for a little bit. But here we are today, and got a lot to talk about
A lot
today.
to talk about. Dreary Tuesday. Just pouring out. We're in the front studio.
We're in the front studio today. It's got the proper ventilation for the COVID, for the Fauci rules. And by the way, you know, we want to adhere to all the rules. I mean, when they all get together, shoulder to shoulder and on top of each other, it's all fine. But you fly into the country, you got to get checked. No COVID, blah, blah, blah. But you can come across the border free, too.
Yep.
It's amazing. And BLM never spent an ounce of COVID.
No.
It's funny, that disease knows more than it says.
It does. So we want to talk a little bit about today is cut down day for the Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
And, not a lot of surprises. Tom and I have been talking a lot over the last 3 weeks since we've been on the air. So you haven't heard this, but a couple of things. O.J. Howard was cut. I think that was a foregone conclusion. Tom and I have talked over the last week or so that he was on his way out. We're hearing Hodgson is cut, Isaiah Hodgkins. I personally don't think he's fodder. I think he's a pretty good receiver. And if they get rid of him over Stevenson, I'm a little bit miffed on that. But
Well, I'm a little disappointed too. He's had a really nice camp. Obviously, without saying it, they see more of what's going on than we do.
very true.
I think
I trust him too.
when it comes down to this, the Bills are built to win right now.
Yeah.
And we saw in the preseason, and Wayne and I both talked about this, the Bills kicked off 4 returns. They didn't boot it out of the end zone. They purposely wanted to see how their young guys could cover kicks.
Okay.
They're built to win now. They wanted to see if Hodgins and guys could cover kicks. And our kick coverage wasn't very good.
It wasn't very good.
On
Because your Taiwan Jones and your Matuzak and those guys, they
44,
weren't playing.
Manikevich,
Yeah, I said
15.
Matuzak. Sorry, John Matuzak, the big
right.
runner.
Kumaro.
Kumaro.
And these guys are very important now. People say, "Oh, what do they do?" Well, their special teams is very
Puzzle.
important, and we're
Puzzle pieces.
right, and we're built to win now. So, do you cut Kumaro for Isaiah Hodgins? Maybe if you're 2 or 3 years away, right?
Right.
But you're ready to go now. Jay Kumaro also can play wide receiver.
He
He
can
catches the
come in.
football.
He can come in for a few games and play slot for you. So you're not giving up much there. No, but anyway. So by the way, we're nitpicking. We know
Right.
that this is a good team. I'm nitpicking.
Right, and
This is a
we're
good team.
disappointed because I thought the kid, in the last preseason game and the one before that, actually there was only 3.
Mm-hmm.
The quarterbacks were looking for him, which told you they really respected his game.
And he caught everything.
Hodgins,
in
yes,
sight.
he
Did
did.
you know he did not have one drop?
No,
Every target he caught.
he really did play well. I'm hoping that something's in the move because
Yeah. Bring him back.
Stevenson doesn't fit the durability, accountability. He's been hurt again. Again, he's got super speed, but it's kind of disappointing. But let's wait and see what happens at 4:00
Agreed.
and
Agreed.
again tomorrow.
Well, and then by noon tomorrow, the roster will be more set noon tomorrow because we're gonna haul people back. Today we'll have to see whether or not we put Trey Day on the pup at 4:00 or do we not? And therefore, if they know he's close to being well, he can start practicing with the team. If they put him on pup today, beforehand, he can't even practice the week 4, which means he's a week 6 or 7 guy.
And they have the bye in there, which gives him more time. So it'll tell you a lot about his health today.
It
And,
will. It will.
In that case, they've kept some extra DBs. That might have something to do with a trade or something too. You don't
That's
know.
the other thing. We don't know about a trade.
And,
we did trade while we were off the air. We traded Ford for a
draft pick,
5th or 5th,
5th-round pick.
which I think was good value because
Yeah.
I don't think Ford was going to play here.
No, he unfortunately, I think you're right. He wasn't going to. you don't know what's going to happen in that neck of the woods. And here's where the Bills' investment in the pass rush is going to have to come out and help their young corners,
You
right?
got that right. Yep.
Other than that, I like the kid from Virginia. A good
Left
friend
shirt.
of the show, Timmy
Yeah.
from New York, has some real good upfront experience with Blackshire.
Yeah.
Forgive me if
I
I'm
call it
saying it
Black
wrong.
Shear, but I think I'm saying it wrong too.
He played at Rutgers. Timmy, it was
His
right in
daughters
his
went
backyard. Yes, they
Rutgers,
did.
yeah.
And Timmy used to go and watch a lot of the games. And Bashir and the kid that Kansas City drafted this year both played in that backfield. And he said those two guys were really solid running backs and played tough. And Bashir ended up transferring to Virginia, I think.
Yes.
And so
Did really well.
I think you'll see that kid re-signed back to the practice squad. Now, when we watch him run, and he did a great job running, right?
He did. No
But
qualms.
you also have to remember
Who's
what
he
would-
playing?
well, yes, but what would Singletary or Moss or Cook do in that same situation, right?
Against third stringers.
Right.
Yeah.
And but he showed a lot, and
You know, it's interesting. I've been reading a lot. Running backs that get cut are generally not picked up,
no,
and there's a lot of them. And like this, that kid from UB signed down with Washington last year as a free agent, Jared Patterson,
yep.
who had that record game at UB.
which
Which
we don't want to get into that, but
Yeah.
Lance Leipold doesn't give him the ball to set an all-time
a
record.
jackass.
Ah,
But anyway, he got cut, and he had like I think 3 or 4 touchdowns last year,
think he
400 yards. He had 5 actually,
and I think he had a couple in camp.
and he
for
had,
his
yes
kids.
he did, and he had 400, near close to 400 yards on very little carry. So the bottom line is that these guys are kind of a dime a dozen. You can pick one up if there's a major injury, but right now, running back, we are set.
And probably he ends up on their practice squad, right?
Correct.
Patterson.
Yes.
Um,
And I'll tell you what, you got a really triple-headed monster there in Singletary, Cook, and Zach Moss. So
And Moss.
you got some good players there. The receivers are hot, solid. I mean, this kid comes in, Shakir. This
Yeah.
kid can play outside, inside, catches everything in sight.
I kind of thought Hodgins could make the team over Jamison Crowder,
Yeah.
but Timmy, again, our dear friend of the show and dear friend in general,
I don't like him, but go
lives
ahead.
in New York, and he says watching a lot of Jets football because you have to.
Yeah.
Crowder, he has a different opinion of Crowder. He says the guy's very dependable, can make plays and stuff. So
If Crowder's not hurt, he's a hell of a receiver.
right, so I'm gonna bow to that, and
Out of that and the Bills' brain trust. And, you know, the offensive line are making some good moves. There's great backups on the offensive. I won't say great. There's good backups if we have problems on the offensive line. Our defensive line, the 4 tackles and the 5 DEs, I mean, my God, they're good.
yeah. Going back to the offense, one more thing too. Today at practice, Crowder was not participating.
Right?
Now he wasn't hurt or anything, so he might show up as a cut.
Yeah.
Wink, wink. So they can get a guy in the PUP
Because
or
he's
whatever.
a vested veteran.
Right, and
He
he's
can-
got the choice. Right.
He's got a choice. He doesn't have to leave. And I think you'll see that with a couple of guys from the Bills who say, you know, for example, they say they're going to cut Tywan Jones today.
Right.
But don't by noon tomorrow, he's re-signed. There's
Right.
a wink, wink, nod, nod.
He's the one guy.
I know. I'm kind of.
We watch a lot of football. Jay Cumro's a football player. Mankiewicz, I'm butchering that name too. 44.
We might have it right. Yeah.
Another solid football player. I haven't. Tywan Jones. The only thing he's ever done was against us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
With
That
with
Houston playoff
Houston,
game.
Houston, was he the guy that took the kick and just tossed it to the side, but the guy in the white coat came out of nowhere and said no, he was downing it. Remember that play?
Yeah, that play. But actually, where he killed us was that playoff game where he took that dump pass after we failed to sack
Right.
the quarterback.
But in
and
that
ran
same
for 75 yards for a field
right
goal.
in that same game from the
Yeah,
World
the
Cup.
one. Yeah, where he didn't call it off, and it ended in the end zone. We fell on it. Yeah.
Right, but some guy in a white coat, the good D, was a whistleblower. Some
Yeah.
came in and said, no,
Yeah,
it's
no, it's
the mental
okay.
police.
Yeah, it's
okay, it
fine.
wasn't Tywan Jones. Then.
No, it wasn't.
That's my
It
point.
wasn't.
All right, that's that with that. A lot of excitement. We'll do a show before we get rolling with the season.
Yeah.
I trust being in McDermott. Well, I'm going to say this. I used to trust being in McDermott
I
until this fiasco happened with the punter, the punt guy.
I want to know when they knew it, how they knew it, why they knew it,
I
and
demand
what they knew.
to know. I agree with our local media. our Yellow Pages, GR, demanding to know what they knew. Do you know, why didn't the Bills send a scout out there and talk to her lawyer?
Exactly. What's wrong with them? You know, I'm getting a little sick of this. First of all, I believe where there's smoke, there's fire. I think the kid did it. I hope I'm wrong. Okay.
Right.
First of all, let's say if he did it, I hope he rots in hell. Secondly, the Bills did not know it at the draft. The Athletic, which is a good, viable source, asked 10 general managers who said they had no idea that he was accused of this.
Timmy also did some work on this one. He went all the way back to all the scouting reports up into the draft where Mel Kiper, the guru, said this guy would be the first punter taken off the board.
Mm-hmm.
After the draft, Kiper said, I am stunned that he was the third punter. And the consensus was hang time and lack of...
1 year. He did punt
he only
in
had the
1 year.
1 year. Nobody mentioned any of this. And
So they didn't know it at the draft. Let's face facts.
for this bunch of jackasses in our media
Local radio.
to
Oh.
jump on these guys about this, listen, fellas, the West Coast, why didn't the San Diego police arrest this guy? It happened in October. He played 5 games for San Diego State after this incident. Why wasn't he arrested? Do you think it's got anything to do with George Soros and no one goes to jail in
No
LA?
one goes to jail in that shithole.
Remember? Guy convicted murderers around the street with no bail, killing more people, but they're his boo. They're my boo. He my boo.
And by the way, the third time they tried to get rid of that son of a bitch in LADA, and they fucking didn't get rid of him again.
Now, it's ridiculous. Backyard barbecue the other day, people were saying, well, don't they do background checks? Don't they do anything? Well, first off, guys, it's a football team. And yes, they do vet a lot of that stuff, but you're worried
They're
about
not
a
the
punter.
FBI.
Well, by the way, they're too busy worrying about Mar-a-Lago and what's in Ivanka's panties and keeping him from running again. And any parents that say, wait a minute, you're teaching my kindergarten kid what?
Yeah.
They're investigating that. But nobody in California goes to jail for anything. But the background talk was they don't vet. Well, first off, there's teachers, there's counselors right now in Virginia that have molestation charges against them. They're still
teaching
your
counseling.
kids.
Yep.
You know, and somebody else said, well, the age of consent. No, the age of consent in LA for sex is 18, right? But it's not the age of consent if your 12-year-old daughter thinks she might want to be a man.
That's right. And
You
then
can go
they
to
can
any
just do
local
it.
children's Mengele hospital and be transformed.
Megala.
But-
You know, the San Diego police, I'm sorry, there's something fishy here. The San Diego police get her, she goes and gets a rape test.
Yeah.
They didn't want to see her diary where she wrote she was molested. They do all this, they don't talk to many people, and they don't press charges. I think it's the San Diego State elitist cover-up, and now the DA in San Diego is looking at that whole investigation. I think it smells to the high heaven that the cops never pressed charges yet. And I think it also smells that it never got out. Now,
And nobody in LA goes to jail for anything.
that's true. You can steal, rob,
I mean, for
rape.
Christ's sake, this left shit. These guys on GR in our media, Jay, I'm not even going to mention his asshole name. They come out and talk about all this stuff when there's there's millions coming across the border illegally.
Never talked about.
Fentanyl coming across, and we're worried about a punter. And what was the comment? Well, they knew enough to cut another punter. Matt Hack wasn't good enough.
I'm going to say this until I'm blue in the face. They knew there was a chance this could come out
Right.
on the punt guy. They still cut Matt Hawk because he's not good enough.
And they did him a
And
good
there's a
one.
million freaking punters.
They did him a good one by cutting him when he did because he landed another job. Because if they wouldn't have cut him, he would not have been our punter this
He
season.
would not have. And
Okay.
everybody who says we blew it by punting him, they didn't want him. I'll go to my grave saying that.
And one last thing I'm going to throw in there.
So
Kim Bagula, and we hope to God she's doing better. From all
we discern, it's
She
a
is.
stroke and she's in rehab.
But when she went through and got rid of Patty LaFontaine, rumors that we picked up was that he was kind of nasty to his staff. There was no fondling or anything. She fired Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
She fired Gilbert and that Fada guy because there was
Yeah.
a lot of touchy being on at the 716.
At the
She
happy
was
hours.
called by the lefties a man-hater.
Man-hater, yeah.
And now she's going to try and move in with the Bills and tell them what to do. Come on, guys. You hypocritical jackasses. By the way, one of the guys on Yellow Pages had signs up and voted for India Walton. That
Yeah.
should tell you all you need
that
to know about
pine-eating, nut-eating piece of fucking
And-
sewage.
second last thing.
Yeah, you said last thing.
They said he's a punter. He should have been cut right away. Quarterbacks are different. No, if my quarterback did something that terrible, I don't want him either.
That's right.
Okay,
That
no.
egregious,
And
yeah.
Cleveland's throwing down on us. No, they grabbed a 66-time groper
Fondler.
and gave him guaranteed money. No, it's terrible, and it shouldn't matter your position.
And let's finally say, all that said, we hate the allegations, and if he did them, he can rot in hell. And I don't need him as a punter here. And I'll tell you another thing. If he's acquitted, okay, fully acquitted, that somebody made this up, and they've got people saying that, then I'd welcome him back because he's a hell of a football
Because
player.
there's a lot of fishy things here, right? The girl did go, and I'm not throwing down on the young lady.
Not
right?
at all. Not at all.
She went the next day to the thing. But how does a civil suit come out in front of a criminal suit? What is going on?
Yeah, well, again, I think the San Diego police should be looked at in this. I really do.
Definitely. And remember, though, I hate to say this, but you used to be innocent
Till
till
proven
proven
guilty.
guilty. But now I guess that only holds true for like the George Floyds of the world.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. Well,
now they're building
what
pigeon
did-
catchers for these shitheads.
yeah, what did George Floyd do? Let's see.
Well, he beat up.
He
his
beat up a woman who was
woman,
pregnant. He put a gun
in
into her
pregnant
belly. Okay, he was in a bodega robbing it or doing fentanyl.
Right.
But you know, we got statues all over the U.S.
Yeah, well, we can mount him and praise him, and my daddy's going to make a difference. By the way, what does he look like? In fact, Shitstick took her to the statue and said, "That's your daddy." That ain't my dad.
They my
Anyways,
daddy. I don't know my daddy.
anyways, I can't believe the ridiculous coverage that the and guys and ladies, let this be a warning. I've told my daughter, your daughter, all their friends, when you go to these parties and stuff, only drink the drink you drank.
That's right.
And I know that's
Put your
bad
hand over the
English.
cup. Put
If
your
you
hand
walk
over the
away
glass.
from your
Don't walk
drink,
away from your drink.
then get another one. And if you're going to a party with a bunch of football players,
Yeah, you better have a couple
heads
friends
up and
with
stay
you.
with a girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Not blaming the young lady, please.
Not at all.
But be smart.
Now, there's some Applewood news we want to talk about. Now
There is. Well,
right?
and when we were talking about this,
Yeah.
for some it won't make a difference, but in others it will. In our sports career, our team, we had some incidents. We had, we're not going to name names here, but we had the swimming pool incident at 18 Applewood.
Right.
We had the.
What about the van being driven off
There was a van.
naked behind the wheel?
One of the players, the driver was nude, and then the young lady was passed out and nude.
Yeah.
There
I
was
believe
the
you
golf
the story.
course.
The
Golf course incident.
Yeah.
There was a TISC, an incident involving TISC. There was a hidden key incident.
Hidden key where the key was put down someone's drawers.
And one of the other instances that this brought to mind for Wayne and I was the Scotch Road incident.
Scott Road.
And what we say is our owner of our team back
Ed
in the day,
Cooch,
Ed
Kuczynski.
Cooch. What did he know and when did he know it? Right?
I'm telling you, this,
Ah.
and the Scott Road incident.
There was a
There was a
another incident.
rumor. Wait a minute. Rumor on Scott Road that there was one young lady and two Applewood aces trying to maybe do something.
And one walked away from the other and allowed the other to start. And there was also an ice cube incident. But listen, sports unfortunately is marred by a lot of incidents. But it's a nauseum with this lefty horse shit and demanding to know. And by the
I'm
way,
still post-COVID here. I can't hear. I can't
the
smell.
Bills, why didn't they send? This was the quote from one of these mid-range jackasses. Why didn't they send a scout out to talk to somebody? You're sending a scout out with tape and a scale and to talk to a lawyer. No, the Bills had their lawyer, who's a woman,
Yeah.
contacting everybody that needed to be contacted. Guys, it's a football team and it's a punter.
Yeah.
Right? Is
So
anybody
drop it.
worried about the fact that under this new administration they want to push all this diversity and they want it in the flight crew?
Yeah.
I'm worried.
I'm a little scared.
Could you imagine that? They want the flight crew, the more assembled, to more look like the population. Could you imagine? This is Captain Bongo up here. We're going to take this bad boy up to 35,000 feet. We go, woo-hoo! By the way, everybody, we're hitting some foul weather that never came up in that little capsule. So we're going to all be praying a little bit, and I'm going to ask all the flight attendants to get out the booze because it's going to be a rough ride. Now, there's more important things to worry about. I want to know if my proctologist has a problem, right? And I have never been slipped a Mickey in my entire life. Never.
No. So anyway, we've talked. We got the Bills. We got Shitstick a little bit. We'll go on with him probably. And then the Sabres camp is 2.5 weeks away. Got me some tickets for that Prospects Challenge.
Oh, yes,
That'll
you
be
did.
fun.
Ed. it's-
By the way, top three. And I'm sorry, I'll start again. The top 20 prospects in the NHL under 23. Sabres had 3 of them.
There you go.
Can you guess them?
Well, let's see.
I
Under
didn't tell
20.
you, so go ahead.
Top 3 under
Top 20, but they're under 23.
under 23.
Three Sabres.
Well, Owen Power.
Owen Power's one of them, 19 years old.
I'm gonna say Jack Quinn.
Nope,
Not Jack Quinn.
nope,
Paterka.
nope.
Hmm.
Think who's on the team?
Well, Darlene.
Darlene?
Okay, and oh boy, another kid under 23 on the squad. Forward
He's a forward.
under 23. It wouldn't be Krebs.
Nope,
Middlestat.
nope. You're missing him.
Who am I missing here? It's not Buck.
Think the 50th state.
Oh my God, Dylan Cousins.
Dylan Cousins.
Yeah, I forgot about Dylan. Right.
Yep.
He should have been my first choice there.
But that's pretty good now.
That is
20.
good.
That's you should have on average with 32 teams less than 1, and we got 3.
Right.
But anyway, excited about them, but it's a
Oh.
ways away.
We were talking to go back to the Ariza thing and what the Bills knew and when the Bills knew. All our media. This is the same media, right? They had no idea that a goaltender on our team was throwing down 24 tall boys before a game and still stopped more pucks than the goalies we had since. All
That's right.
So the media, But
Call from Desi.
Alexa declined.
friend of the show trying to call in, and we're not ready to take calls. We're not set up for calls yet. Hopefully someday we will be. But anyways, no, that's great. Unfortunately, summer's winding down, but it is going to be exciting with the Bills and the Sabres.
Oh,
and,
that's the best part of the fall, man. Sabres and Bills, and
and I think, just real quick, like we said before, a lot of the Bills' cuts and decisions are based on they're ready to go right now.
Yep.
So you might keep an older guy in lieu of
and
another
again,
guy.
I'm going to tell you right now, Tom. Bean and McDermott, I have no qualms with what they do now.
Well, they let
having-
that guy fly down there, and that needs to be answered.
Having said that, though, I think Sean, we've said this a million times in the offseason, blew the 13 seconds.
God, yeah, he did.
It's totally him, and he has to learn from that. And I don't ever want to see that indecisive, scared to death bullshit again.
No, and the other thing too that was misblown too all summer was who's going to hold for the kicks. And
It's
it's
so
so important.
It's simple. Come on.
Oh my God!
I can
yeah.
hold up a Maryville. Cut it out.
Right when Brian was the whole. I don't want to mention names on our team, but he had the golf course incident, and we just stepped in and took care of that. Right. But anyways, no, the shit stick as far as the country goes, we're being invaded. Oh, very important point. The date for the agreement, the memorandum of whatever, for the Bills has been now pushed back.
September 1st, and it's all about community bullshit.
Right.
Okay? So, what does that mean? All right? It means that the brethren are asking for everything in this deal. They want jobs. They want community money. They want to do everything. Well, they're 12% of the population. As far as I'm concerned, you get 12% of the fucking jobs.
Right, and after the 15th of October, another city can call and say, would you like to build your palace
San
here?
Antonio's already called.
And it's ridiculous. And yet, we are,
I wonder if India Walton and who's that beast on Channel 2?
all the comrades.
No, who's the woman on Channel 2?
Yeah, I don't want to name names,
All
but
right,
she lives
but
around
the
here.
weekend anchor.
Yeah.
She's already talking about, we got to have all the jobs and all the brethren and all the community involvement.
we are going
and
to
all the-
lose this.
They lose this team. I swear to God, there's nowhere for anybody to hide.
And guys, before any of you say, and I've heard people say, well, the schools and this and that, guys, we are throwing a fortune away to these illegals who are living in 5-star hotels, while my buddy who was just trying to call is sitting in 6 days of news. All right?
Yesterday's news. And I'll tell you another thing. So they're busting
And
them
that's
up.
not newspapers.
The guy from, the governor of
New York.
the governor of Texas.
I'm sorry, of Texas.
Has had enough, and he's sending them to Washington, and he's sending them to New York. What does the New York mayor do? Puts them up in $400 a night hotels. He's telling the hotels, you must put them up on the taxpayer dollar.
Listen to
Hold
this.
on. They're getting a phone. They're getting food stamps. They're getting health care, and they're getting money.
And get this, they have their own floor, okay? And they're being told to enter the hotel through the back doors. Can you say "Thou Stefagen Austin
This
Fear"?
is socialism. right
and
now.
by the way, Mayor Adams, where was he at the other night till 2 a.m. and posting proud as a peacock about it? Some high ritzy gala. While the crime's going through the roof there. And
Right
that
through
city
the
never
roof.
shits.
Oh my God! Don't ride a subway in New York.
Guy,
Don't.
anybody that votes Democratic in
You're out of
November
your
should
mind.
have your head.
You're out of your mind. Listen, and the other thing is getting our veterans. Our veterans are not taken care of.
No.
They're not taken care of. No one cares. They vet them and they vet them and they vet them until they don't give them a dime and then they drop dead.
Right.
And I got illegals walking in this country through the Rio Grande,
Right.
getting every goddamn benefit known to man.
Destroying the land down there. And by the way, you're so upset, and rightfully so, about this situation with the bills, right?
Yeah.
The women coming up on with this Biden come on in, they're being raped, they're being
Yeah.
sold into sex slavery, all this stuff.
All
the
this
young
stuff.
girls, and I heard today,
You
and
hear
I'm
none of
sorry,
it.
I heard today that some were being killed for body parts. Now I'm sorry,
Wow.
okay, but what? You need a liver?
Tom, I don't know what's going on, but I got to tell you,
But
this
remember
country is
wasn't
fucking us up.
the friend of ours that went to Vegas and then he met
Oh, yeah.
that girl and he was found in a bathtub on dry ice. I
Yeah.
mean, now, seriously,
That urban legend.
this country under this shit stick.
We're heading to socialism. There was a Democrat out west who won a primary. And you know what she said? She said, this is a vote for socialism.
It
She
was
came
New York City.
right
New York
out
City,
and
you're
said
right.
it.
Yep, she's AOC's best buddy.
Yeah.
By the way,
Sorry if I thought it was
they
west.
raided Mar-a-Lago because they wanted paperwork back from Trump. By the way, there were 72,000 items taken by the great healer that they fought in 3 court battles to get back.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Nixon had a battle with the Supreme Court over. This is not something that's
It's not
happened
new.
before.
And
Okay?
the great healer took him and then parlayed that into a
Right.
book deal.
And by the way, they want you to believe that he was running around Mar-a-Lago with the nuclear football, calling Xi Jinping and Jose Pena.
Suck my
and,
dick.
Yeah, and all this stuff. It's ridiculous, right? Total ridiculous.
That is. You know what? If they find stuff in there and it's vetted, okay, where he had stuff he absolutely cannot have, then goddamn it, put him away and never run again. I don't love the man.
No.
I don't love him.
It's
I
us.
liked his policies, and I want to see
We're better
either
off.
Scott or DeSantis as the next president of the United States of America.
We were all, if this guy really did have the football,
Yeah.
right? Why did it take, 2 years
Why is
to
it
go check
football
it
not
down?
baseball?
They call it the nuclear football. I don't know, but I think
Maybe a football is
They
bigger
did
and it can
find
flip with
in-
the buttons.
his wife's panties, 2 of the first numbers of the code.
And they were
But
soiled.
by the
They
way,
were soiled too.
they're worried about him selling this to these people, right? Which a lot of these Russian things are all disproven, but you'll only read about that on page 82.
Page 87.
But what is happening, the Chinese
are being-
buying land up next to our silos in the Midwest.
Yep.
This
And
is
the
true.
Bidens are allowing it, and the Bidens and his son, little Hunter, who's a criminal, and so is Joe. There's nothing ever investigated on those God-blessed criminals
And
in the White House.
You had a fondler on Fondler's Island. Boss.
Here
the
on
12-year-olds are here.
Fondler's
The
Island.
12-year-olds are here, boss. Nobody investigated any of the Epstein
Epstein.
shit. And he
Epstein.
hung himself.
Yeah, sure he did. He was killed by, guess who? The Clintons.
God, yeah. But nothing's investigated there. Guys, it's happening right before our eyes here, right? This guy's selling the nuclear
And-
code to, yet we're letting the Chinese build right next to our silos.
And let me say something
They own
else.
both ends of the Panama Canal. Do your homework. Shinks.
Let me say something here too. The politicians, I really can't stand any of them.
Me neither.
Okay, they're all goddamn lifers making millions, living in mansions with yachts and turrets with fucking marksmen in them. I hate every damn one of them. Okay, but you got to take the lesser of evils. And right now we're heading to socialism.
Can't build a wall to protect our country, but
Build a
Botox
wall,
lives in a wall.
Botoxy.
And on over here in Delaware, they're building a wall, a $500,000 wall around the Biden mansion.
Biden mansion. And
But
let me say
Americans
another
can't be
thing.
safe.
Insider trading with Botoxy. Her and her husband are tens of millionaires from insider trading. It's never, ever been investigated.
And California now wants to go by 2030 to totally no gas cars at all electric. We don't have a grid for that.
Yeah.
And I honestly,
It's a joke. But anyway, we've talked about it a lot because, we've been off the air.
we've been off a while.
We hope you guys enjoy this. If we don't get the hits, we may cancel the show. That's out to you, Mike.
Right.
Mike Capizzi. And the rest of the Twitter fod. Shout out to my son, Zach, who started a really wonderful new job yesterday. to my daughter Alicia, who started a new job a couple weeks ago at the florist, and everybody who watches. Thanks for watching us. Brian Shanahan, you're still a ginger, but thanks for watching the show.
Yeah, thanks to all our listeners, everybody. We've been away for a little bit, but we're back.
Bob
We're
Green,
back
you're a deviant, but
stronger
thanks.
than ever.
Thanks for watching, Bob. You are a bit of a deviant, but
Remember, evil is taking over too. They're taking the Bible out of schools, but you can't touch the Quran.
no, you can't. Anyway, great day to be back. Bills are starting. Today is Tuesday. We are 9 days from
By the
kickoff.
way, I found it funny that
Brethren.
Starbucks, who was all for the voting and pulling out of Atlanta and mail-in votes, and it's all legal and don't stop people from voting,
Don't.
now we're filing suit because they don't
Give
trust
us
the
on tomorrow.
mail-out votes for
Don't
their unionization.
Stop. It'll
Thinking
soon
about
be
tomorrow.
here. Don't stop. Sig Heil about tomorrow.
Listen, by the way, guys,
If you say by the way one more
evil
time,
is
I'm
running
gonna- I am
rampant.
going to smack.
We got to
you.
get back to the Almighty, and remember, woke is a friggin' joke.
All right, guys. Good night.
Take care. Love y'all.
Keep it here next. Love you.
Hey, keep up the good work in New York, Timmy.
And Rutgers.